oldest and only surviving of the 7 ancient world wonders. The pyramid complex resides west of Cairo at the edge of the Sahara Desert and holds 9 pyramids. Like many people, I've seen a lot of photos of the Giza pyramids, but to experience them up close, I'm speechless. And if you know me, that almost never happens. Pharaoh Cheops built the pyramid complex 5,000 years ago. Each pyramid is a fascinating feat of human engineering. The lower part of the pyramids are made of granite from quarries in Aswan that traveled by the Nile more than 550 miles to the site of the Giza pyramids. The top levels of the pyramids are made of limestone. Up close, it's mind-blowing to see the mammoth stone blocks and imagine how humans transported and stacked each block, weighing an average of 2.5 tons in configurations of 2,000 or more to build each pyramid.
Now this is a great vantage point. From here you can see 3 of the pyramids and several of the smaller ones in a panoramic view. So to really appreciate this up close and personal, I'm going to take a camel ride.
A camel ride tops my bucket list. Now, this is the real deal. You climb on the camel from the ground, not an elevated platform. Okay, what you're about to witness, this is a beginner's mistake. If you don't lean back as the camel stands up, you will topple forward. Trust me. This camel ride demands a little physical agility, but once I'm up, it is so surreal.
So over here is the largest sphinx you will find in Egypt. This is of King Khafre. And like all of the sphinx throughout Egypt, you'll notice that it has the head of the pharaoh or king and the body of the lion.
It's called the Great Sphinx of Giza, and it's the most famous and oldest of Egypt's sphinxes. It was carved out of limestone during the 4th dynasty around 2620 BC and stands 66 feet tall.
So we're next to the Sphinx here in the Temple of the Valley, which used to basically overlook the Nile. Now this is where the mummification process began. When royals and kings and queens were buried, their bodies first came here and they spent 40 days being mummified before they were transferred on to a neighboring temple for another 30 days. So a 70-day mummification process.
My fascination with Egypt lies in its intimate and comfortable relationship with the afterlife. Ancient Egyptians believed that after death, the soul would return to the body and live on in the afterlife. That's why they mummified dead bodies, removing all the organs except for the heart and storing them in alabaster jars. This mummification practice began around 2600 BC during the 4th and 5th dynasties and continued for more than 2,000 years. So much of Egyptian art, architecture, and customs express this reverence for the afterlife, which leads me to the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. The museum opened in 2021 and holds one of the most significant collections of Egyptian mummies. The Royal Mummies Hall displays mummies from the Valley of Kings, which we'll visit in another episode. Now here, you can find 20 royal mummies, 18 kings, and 2 queens. The museum also showcases more than 1,500 art objects and artifacts from the prehistoric era up to modern-day Egypt.